Hello, I'm the fourth accountant, and today we're going to talk about the three most common financial mistakes killing startups before they've had the chance to succeed. Most startups do not fail because of bad products, untalented founders, poor market fit, or competition. Most failures come down to three common and completely avoidable financial mistakes. Perversely, these mistakes are not a result of complex technical issues. Instead, they are caused by issues that hide in plain sight and in decisions that feel completely reasonable at the time. I have seen startups make these mistakes way too often, so let's talk through these mistakes, why they are so easy to make, and what you need to do instead. So, does your business have a healthy cash position? In response to this question, it would be tempting to open your banking app, but this would be the first mistake. To be clear, checking your bank balance regularly is a sensible thing to do, but your bank balance on its own tells you almost nothing about the actual health of your cash position, and here's why. Imagine you're a founder and you can see a bank balance of £100,000. This feels like a healthy bank balance, but also imagine you have £20,000 of VAT to be paid in 3 weeks, payroll costs of £15,000 due at the end of the month, £10,000 owed to suppliers which you've been delaying, and £40,000 of customer payments that would be delayed another 45 days. When you take all of this into account, you would only have about £55,000 of free cash and potentially be another £40 short of near-term cash you were counting on. This scenario would not be considered a healthy cash position, and a bank statement would not tell you any of this. As I've mentioned in other videos covering this mistake, founders may seek comfort in bank balances because they are easy to understand and they are updated on a daily basis. It feels like a real-time dashboard and therefore gives us a sense of control. But bank statements are just a snapshot, not a story. They tell us almost nothing about where your business is heading. And in business, future direction matters much more than current position. Instead of just relying on bank statements, try and build a simple 13-week cash flow forecast that shows you when you expect cash to come in and out of your business. The forecast should be based on when your customers actually pay you, which is not usually the invoice date, and when you should pay for things. Make sure you keep your cash flow up to date on a weekly basis. This will encourage you to start anticipating what is happening with your cash so that you start acting proactively rather than reactively. Bear in mind, a cash flow forecast doesn't make cash problems go away, but it will help you see them coming. This is a very common issue when businesses are focused on growing in size, building sales pipeline, and winning customers, but despite all of this, still find they're becoming less profitable and running out of cash. If this sounds familiar, then pricing might be your issue. When most founders set pricing, they tend to look at what their competitors are charging and compete on that basis, or they attempt to set pricing based on perceived value. Regardless of what approach is taken, pricing needs to be informed based on a clear understanding of actual costs. This will include, for example, the cost of sales calls, the cost of supplies, labor, software, etc., etc. Also, less obvious indirect costs such as account management, customer support, and general admin should be considered when calculating the true cost to serve your customers. All of this ensures your profit margins are not squeezed as you scale. As businesses grow, labor costs and other overheads increase, but increasing your prices for your largest customers feels risky. Also, your early customers often expect grandfathering of historic costs. So, the founder and the business have to find ways to continually work harder and more efficiently to protect their margins, their development roadmaps, and the overall customer experience. Pricing is difficult at the best of times, but failing to price appropriately or revisit your pricing as costs evolve can make running a business feel like running on an increasingly unforgiving treadmill. To inform pricing, Start by calculating your gross margin per product, per service, per client. You must be brutal and ensure all costs are included. If the maths doesn't work and you don't have a comfortable margin, then your pricing isn't right, no matter what your competitors are doing. Also, don't be afraid to raise your prices. This is obviously one of the hardest things for founders to do, but also one of the most important things to do. Most founders dramatically underestimate how much pricing power they actually have and overestimate how much pushback they will receive. If you have a powerful value proposition, you can raise prices. Consider a 10% price increase on your existing revenue with no additional cost. This goes straight to your bottom line. That is not a small thing, and it can be transformational. Know your numbers, know your market, understand your value proposition, price accordingly, then rinse and repeat at least once every year. So I hope you're enjoying the video, and please feel free to leave a comment because it's always good to hear different perspectives on the topics we talk about here, and it's the way we learn. Otherwise, if you are new to the channel, please feel free to like and subscribe. In the meantime, if you are worried about your personal finances, the amount of tax you or your business is paying, or you're in a quandary around how you can scale your business by leveraging financing and accounting automation, please feel free to reach out to myself for a no obligation consultation. Otherwise, let's get back to the video. This mistake tends to hit founders at a very specific moment, the moment that things are going well. Sales pipeline is strong, customers are happy, growth is above track, and so the founder does what feels like the most logical next step. They scale and invest, anticipating continued growth. They hire more staff, they take bigger offices, they upgrade their tech stack. But then, for some unforeseen reason, the growth doesn't happen as quickly as expected, and all this additional investment and cost becomes unsustainable. To be clear, growing a business will always involve taking risk, and there's no such thing as the perfect time to scale. But it's important that any significant investment is based on careful financial planning that has been stress tested in case revenue growth does not happen as quickly as expected. Investment based on optimism or feel rather than careful financial planning is what makes fundraising harder and can kill off a thriving business. More investment often means more fixed costs, and fixed costs do not care about slow revenue growth. They continue to burn cash every month, no matter what. When you scale your business, there are operational and emotional costs as well. Founders feel a deep duty of care for the people they hire. They cannot walk away from long office leases, and they have a responsibility to keep their customers happy. This creates pressure to close deals quickly by offering discounts, taking on clients that would normally be disqualified, and rushing product launches in order to generate revenue as quickly as possible. The impact of these reactive decisions often compounds and can cause painful issues later on down the road. Generally speaking, it's better to let revenue grow and then reinvest afterwards. Before you commit to significant additional costs, whether that be the new office, a new hire, or new IT infrastructure, firstly, make sure your business is generating sufficient cash to comfortably cover the additional costs. And secondly, there is clear financial and market evidence indicating revenue will grow following the additional investment. The second point is the most important one, but also the most challenging one to get right. Experience is invaluable when making this judgment, but founders still need a measurable signal to make investment decisions confidently. And if you can't make investment decisions confidently, it may not be the right time to scale your business. But if you are ready to scale, then plan for the additional costs as well as you can, using financial experts to help you understand the impact on cash runway, margin, and cash reserves whilst revenue is still growing. Running a business is not a science or an academic exercise. We all understand that there is uncertainty and risk, which in some ways we simply have to embrace. But for inexperienced founders in particular, there are lessons we can take from common mistakes others have made. Managing cash flow, making informed pricing decisions, and planning any investment carefully are fundamental processes you can adopt, which will have a massive impact on your ability to run your business confidently. And the earlier this happens, the sooner your business can compete for market share and grow. Otherwise, hopefully you found that useful, but until next time, peace.